And we are live. I'm so happy today. My friend, this is Ero Talks Show, episode number 4. And my friend, today we are doing a live stream with a friend of mine. He is called Ian Alusa. We've been sharing a lot together. You know, we went to the same high school. We chose the same subjects. And funny enough, we also joined the same university, the University of Nairobi. And in the University of Nairobi, it happened that we were called in the same course. So my friend, we share a lot with him, and today we shall be just talking about what is the importance of you pursuing that which you want. You know, we've been talking about passion, and we've been talking about you being disciplined and following a certain, discipline in our previous episode. And my friend, if you did not watch that, feel very, very free to find links in the description so that you can be accessible to this very, very videos. I'm very sure they are good for you to watch. And my friend, you can always leave me a comment so that I can know your feeling. I also know your feedback. And my friend, I'm hoping that this will be very helpful to you. So my friend, I don't want to talk so much. I just want to bring him on camera so that he can introduce himself and all that. So Ian.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ian, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we are live on Ero Productions, and we are happy to host you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would just like to give you some time. You introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Yeah. I don't know what are the kind of audience I'm having, but I know some of you might be knowing me, and some don't know me as usual. But I'm Ian
Yes.
Alusa, just
Yes.
from Shinyalu constituency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the CEO Ero Production. We were with him at the same high school at Lugala High School.
Sure.
At the same time, we found ourselves at the same campus, taking the same course,
Sure.
and now we are headed towards the end of our academic progress at UN. I think he ended his last year, but I'm ending
Yes.
mine come next month, and
Yes.
I think. Yeah, I'm currently at Nairobi, but I come from Shinyalu. I'm someone from Shinyalu, and much more we shall be sharing.
I'm happy you were able to mention that we went to the same schools. You know, I've just told my audience in the introduction that we really share a lot in common. And my friend, I'm so very happy to talk to you today. And my friend, if someone is joining us on this very live stream, we are talking about the importance of pursuing that which you love, and how you can make the best out of it. My friend, if you're watching a live stream, just comment and tell me we are watching a live stream. And my friend, if you're watching a replay, you can also mention that you are watching a replay. So Ian,
Yes, sir.
I would like to just ask you, like, when we are talking of the importance of pursuing something, you must have a dream, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I would like you to let me know, what dream do you want to pursue relentlessly? Yeah.
Yeah, my dream is to become a very solid politician. And as you know, every dream comes with a
You are
loss of.
talking of, so listen. You are talking of, you want to go into politics.
Yeah, of course. I think I had even talked to you about this earlier on.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think every dream has got challenges, but with time, with patience, with the persistence, I think nothing should hold you on to going for what you want to go for. I think that's my solid dream, and I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, so I'm so happy. I pray that one day it works out, because every dream is valid. And my friend, if you can be able to follow your dream, I'm sure that you are going to pursue it, right?
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It is not easy, but I'll go for it.
By the way, politics is a very, very tricky field, and you wanting to go for it, I'm very, very happy to see you go for it. And my friend, I am very much willing to support you in any way. Maybe if it is in designing of your posters, campaign posters, I do that, right?
Yeah. I always count this Ero Productions. I know you will never leave me that way. I know I always count on
Yeah.
you as usual.
Yeah, so if you are really wanting to pursue that, We just pray that you finish your campus and then you go right into politics. And we hope that Ero Productions will be able to, support you in one way or the other, right?
Yeah, I will really appreciate it.
Yeah. So, Ian, talking of politics, there must be someone behind this. I don't know who is your role model or is the idol behind this big dream.
Yeah, my idol is a very relentless person, but he is not from Kenya. He's from South Africa. This is an
Yes.
opposition leader of South Africa by the name Julius Selo Malema. And if you've been viewing most of my posts and statuses, you will easily
Sure.
see that really adore this guy. He's an opposition leader of South Africa. He was born in a very humble background of a single mother in Limpopo district of South Africa. So
Yes.
because his mother had epilepsy, so at the same time she died while he was still young. But because of that persistence and his relentlessness, he chose that I must go for my path. I must pursue for what I have to, and that I've been dreaming for. And I can tell you for now, this is a very solid politician in South Africa that many people are really watching after. I think even the next coming presidential elections, this guy is going to easily take the lead.
So yes, this guy I've seen him. I think in so many clips,
Yeah,
including yours when you're sharing about him, and I just felt from my heart that this must be your mentor, and I
yeah,
am so happy to find that you really are looking up to him, and you've mentioned something important that this guy came from a very humble background, and this guy has been able to go up to that level and has been able to fight with the lions, and I think he has a say in South Africa, right?
yeah. Yes, a very total say.
Yes, and speaking of the background, I really understand how your background is. And maybe someone watching might wonder, Ian is talking of politics and all that. Politics need money and all that. But again, I am very sure if you are pursuing something that is right, you can, make it even without money, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
so,
what I can tell most people is that though politicians do play a very dirty game, but
mm,
not all of them are bad. Some there are very positive politicians, though a large number of them, a large percentage of them, they are very dirty. But as per that fact, I cannot decline it, but I accept. But what people should know is that they are very clean politicians.
yeah, especially in Kenya, we paint politicians as people who are always corrupt, right?
Yes.
So, Ian, I'm wondering, do you really agree with the reasoning of PL Lumumba? He said that
Yeah.
in Japan, when a leader is found to be corrupt, he kills himself. Then in China, if he's found to be corrupt, he is killed. Then in Europe, if he is found corrupt, he is jailed. But he mentioned that in Kenya, when a leader is found corrupt, in fact, he presents himself for, a politician seat. So I don't know. Do you really agree with BL Lumumba?
I agree with him 100%. But you see, this is Africa. This is a very different, a very different location from Europe and the other places we are saying. This is Africa.
Yes.
But for me, I support the words from Patrick Lumumba. And if that same spirit can be transferred here at Africa, I think we can really make a very vital change pertaining matters corruption and other sorts of illegancies. But what I know in most African states, these changes will take time to occur. But I really accept with what Patrick Lumumba said, 100%.
So you just say we need time, right?
Yeah, we need time. It will not take that easy task. It will not be an easy task for this to happen because I know as much as these same leaders are still existing, we cannot make any change. And at the same time, there is what we call transformation. You see, transformation and change are two different things. In Africa, we only undergo change. Change is something that is partial, but if at all we want transformation, something that is permanent, we need a very stringent spirit to go towards it, because Africa only depends on change, but not on transformation. But for us to attain this transformation, we need time.
My friend, you've really explained so good, and I like it when you bring the difference between change and transformation. So, Ian, I'm wondering what has pursued you towards this big
Yeah, this dream is not. It is something that has been into me blood-wise. I think it came into me a very long time ago. It is something that is into my stain, and I'm looking forward to making several transformations, both in from my community and from for my country and the world in at large. But for the sake of this dream, this is something that has been existing since the times when my great grandfathers used to exist. Some of them used to take a lead in various activities. So I think this dream has now awakened through me, and I'm the one who must take it through and take it ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. But then, Ian,
Yeah.
at our place, I've had so many complaints that leaders who are young, the youth, really don't know how to lead a community. And in one way or the other, the old men feel like, youth who are leaders don't really impact the community. I don't know. What is your view about this?
Okay, what I can tell you is that is just a perception. And you see, some perceptions are very presumptuous. And as much as you're making some perception, you must take caution. And you see, caution is another level of stupidity, because if you want to judge everything in terms of perceptions, we will never make change. So what most people from our communities are lacking, for instance, is that push. For instance, you see, not all youth are that way, but what many people are lacking is that I can say this youth, for instance, I can say that I want to take this seat. So as much as there is a perception that I want to take this seat only to go and clinch the money that is used for developmental project like CDF, the money that is used to pay fees for our brothers and sisters, as our MPs and MCS have been trying to misappropriate our funds. So this is just based on a perception. But as much as, if I know you Kazungu, for instance, you've been brought up in a way that is very genuine. I cannot say that even if you will become a leader tomorrow, you cannot try to go against your societal norms and try to be a very corrupt person. But it depends on how you are brought up, and also perception.
Yeah, Ian, I'm so very happy to hear from you. You see, these are things that we need to hear because I sometimes find it so hard to explain to them because they say, we had someone else who was a young man and he really did not give us something. But I'm so happy from what you've said. But then I just want to ask you, what is the perfect epitome of this in real life?
The perfect epitome, I can say there are many perfect examples. Like another one of my example, the perfect epitome of is relentless working for your dreams is me. Is me, because I think I'm the first priority, because I can say this life has not been easy, but for this journey that I've reached, it has been a very big war, and I really appreciate that. Then what I can prove to you that this life, if you work it relentlessly, the perfect epitome for me is the CEO Eros Production. I've always told my friends that the CEO is from a very humble background, and if you really can hear of his story or his life history, I think you can just shed down your tears, and you lack how to express yourself. I think how he is progressing and how he is taking his step by step Ero production. I think and I'm always praying for him by that. I know he is a very, very focused person, And if you follow what he's doing, I can tell you, my friend, you will never lack something to take through your day. What I can say is that you you are my perfect epitome of this, because what you've been doing has been really impacting me. You do things relentlessly. You life has not been easy, but you've never quitted towards doing or pursuing your dreams. You one time told me that this Ero production will become something so amazing, but as I've been trying to follow up on your progress, I can see that they are very successful progress, and with time, I'm sure that you are going to get something out of it. And that one, I cannot compromise. You are really going to progress, and I can see the Lord is working with you. Every step you're making, the Lord is going to work with you. And that's the same way I've been trying to think, that every time a youth has got a dream, try to go for it, because we have very different dreams. We cannot share dreams because we were created differently, but in the same God's image, but we cannot share the same dreams. But for me, the perfect epitome is the CEO Eros production, with much explanation that I've given onto you.
I'm so very humbled, Ian, that I really am impacting that, because when I look at my life and your life, we really share the same background. And if you can really follow what you want, it will work for you. And thank you so much for taking me as a perfect example for that. I'm very, very humbled. I just want us to speak to youth because we are young people. I've just
Yeah.
cleared campus last year and you're clearing this year. We are still young. I want us to speak to young people. I don't know, what is your advice to fellow youth who feel low about life and are worried about their future?
Yeah, that's a nice question. What can advise our fellow youth, our brothers and sisters, is that sometimes we really we relent in pursuing for our dreams. We die in terms of our heartless. We become very heartless. But what I can tell you is that as long as you are still alive, you are two eyes. You cannot say that, oh, this person declined to give me a help or what. But as long as you have a dream, as long as you have that list, not even at most, but that least thing that you can do, that is within your control. uh, I can always tell my youth is that take everything that is within your control. Don't have very muddy dreams that you cannot even pursue for. Take everything step by step. As much as I'm trying to say about my dream, I'm sorry, I cannot just go for it. That my we need there are small steps that I need to take that will lead me towards that major step. So I will take time for I to attain that major step. But with that major step, I need very very calculated small steps to reach that. So what I can tell you is that make sure that, if as long as you are pursuing for a dream, at least have smaller steps. You cannot start building a castle in the air expecting it to land, as in to be completed in the ground, as in you cannot build a house from the top. You have to build everything from the ground. So what I mean is that take each and every bigger dream, yes, but start it small.
Yeah, my friend, I'm really getting a lot from this conversation. And you've spoken of something very, very important, that some of us want to build a castle from the roof going downwards. But we are just realizing that it is the other way around. Like it should be from the bottom. You should come from the background. And I remember I was speaking to my church and I was telling them, if you want to know how good something is, you must be ready to build it from the background, right? That's
Yeah, yeah,
we don't just want to have shortcuts. Like most of us youth want to have shortcuts in life. We want to get money at a very fast pace and make things happen. But this cannot happen this way. And I was telling them that everything that we are doing is not instant. And you can prove this, Ian, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just happy that you are able to bring that out. And maybe we should just talk about this issue that people or many people say that there is no job, especially the youth. They are saying, I want to go in an office and work in an office. I don't get the opportunity. But I don't know. What is your view about youth and jobs?
Yeah, about youth and jobs, I can tell you that as much as you're seated there with your papers, however brilliant they are, you will sit until you die. But as much as you take that first lead of engaging into your own activities, as much as you set your own pace of doing something, this I call small steps. I think if you set up something, that which you are waiting for, call a job, in fact you'll not look for it, it will just look for you because you are already set. You are doing your own things. But if you sit there, you are just warming your benches waiting for a job, I think that's a hoax. It will never happen.
So youth should not just feel like, we need to work in offices and have white collar jobs, right? Ian?
Hello. Yeah,
Yes,
I
can you
think
get me?
yeah, I can get you. I think that's not the spirit that we need to cultivate. We need to cultivate that spirit that we don't need to depend on jobs. We need to depend on us, because I think as much as we want jobs, these jobs are with people, and these people also need time to regurgitate on who will get those jobs. So I think we need to create ours first. We need to get our own pace first. We don't need to rely on jobs first. We need to get something started first for we to pursue for those jobs that we want. But I think for youth, we have a very, very luminous future. But at first, start with your own. Don't depend on someone's.
Yes, because like we said, most of us want shortcuts, and so someone says, I have an uncle working in this company, I have an aunt working in this company, but you find that at the end of the day, they are not able to help them. But I usually talk to some of them and I tell them, if you have an opportunity to even create a YouTube channel, because for me, I see future in YouTube, just like you see future in politics. So I usually tell them, why can't you create something online? Because there are so many people who depend on YouTube for entertainment, for education, and for so many other things. So, my friend, I'm so happy that you are able to mention this because I don't know. Maybe Ian, we should talk about education a little bit before we go. We end this talk. I don't know. What is your view about education? You've studied. You are now in your fourth year in the best university in Kenya. But I just want to get a good understanding about education. What is your view about education, especially in Kenya?
As much as we say that jobs are as tiny, as little as they are in Kenya, we should not just try to derail education. Education is still very important factor in this country, because I think it is very important. You cannot just say that as much as I can go to school and still not get the job that I wanted. So there's no need for education. Education is very important in very many sectors, in terms of relationship with other people, in terms of maybe growing you maturely. So I think for me, education is a basic need, as I laid it in most of our books. So we should not just despise education. Education is still a very important factor that we need to pursue. So what I can tell you is that we need to go for it. We need to set our pace for it. So education is still a very, very important factor. So let's go get started, and let's not derail anything like education. We need just to go for it.
Yeah. So for me, I understand that education is there to help us, especially open our minds. Because you find that if you're not educated, then you are limited in terms of thinking and in terms of even doing your own things. So education is there, it is important, it is a necessity. But then the way we treat it in Kenya, it feels like, without it, you cannot do anything. But education is there to open our minds, Education is there to make us know what to do and what not to do. Education is there to help us understand how to invest, how to save, and how to make a better future, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
especially Ian, you can really attest to this, that you will realize that in the University of Nairobi, I don't know how many people do you know who come from Kakamega East?
Yeah, at the moment, Kakamega East, I had Elkana, but what I can testify is that from Kakamega East, even if there are whom I don't know, but they are very, very little. They are not that much, as we can attest
Yes.
from from the Nyanda region who have fallen our campus. So from Kakamega East, they are not that much. They are very, very little.
Yeah, so we find that people don't want to pursue education. You find people have just finished Form 4, then they decide to get married, or people have just finished class 8, and someone, ceases from going to school. But we find that education is very important, and maybe we should talk about this issue of CBC. I don't know, what is your view about the CBC education system?
Yeah, CBC is a curriculum based what you can try to. I think CBC is a very nice deal, but for me, it depends because we used to the way people take it is that people have a very negative perception about it because it really takes much time of our brothers and sisters because by the time you are moving from the lower classes to the upper classes it is a bit challenging, but I know after that it is a very very vital deal. I think for me I really support it. It will still make our community grow in the coming years because we've seen a very drop in the in terms of youth with skills. So what CBC is just trying to bring about is now it is now trying to avail our youth, our brothers and sisters with skills, something that we have been lacking since the time 844 began. So for me, I really support CBC.
Yes, because you find sometimes parents want to force students or their children to do a certain course because they feel that is what they need in their family, or they feel
Yeah.
that is what their father has done, or they feel that is what the mother has done. So if the mother is a doctor, she wants her daughter to be a doctor. And we find some situations that after these students have finished school, they take the certificates to their parents and they tell them, you know what, I'm now through with your course, and they go pursue what they want. So I think CBC will help us identify what a child can do and maybe make
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best out of that. So I'm very happy that we are talking about education because this is very important in Kenya and also
Yeah.
even in the whole world because we should be informed because education will always help us get informed. I don't know. Let's talk about this virus. I don't know what effects has it has to towards your education, or maybe basically what are the effects of this virus that we are experiencing right now?
For me, I think I cannot try to. I cannot throw stones on this virus because I think it has brought both negative and positive impacts. So on the side of negative impacts, we can see many people have been suffering of hunger and medical and the other source of transport has been delayed. But for me, these negative impacts are still normal in our daily lives, irrespective of the virus. Of course, people have suffered, people have lost their jobs, people, we have seen our brothers and sisters who have delayed completing their form force and class 8, but this is just another step because it has led us to another move, like it has led us to a positive challenge. For instance, you can see this virus has taught people on how to get ready for the future. I think the future itself tells us that in terms or by the time we are trying to face such like challenges, for instance, I can say this is like a pandemic. Yeah, this pandemic, I can say the moment we are here, we are talking about Ero production or what. I know you are personally prepared that in case such a thing happens in the coming years, I will try to handle my businesses. So I think it has taught us on how to handle our businesses, even in all the circumstances, whether in good terms or in bad terms. But it is a very positive challenge because it has prepared us in terms of our future or what. But in terms of negativities, they are genuine, they are there, but I cannot say that these negativities are things that have not been happening. They have been happening, and there are things that we've been facing. Hunger has been there. I think loss of jobs has been there. But what is most important is the positive impact of this virus. People should always be ready to face the challenges.
Sure. And Ian, as we come to the conclusion of this conversation, I don't know. We've had so many deaths when it comes to people who are in love, and it's just the love triangle. I don't know. Do you think it is the effect of this virus, or do you think, I don't know, what do you think is the reason to why people are killing their loved ones or their spouses and their partners?
I think that's just a perception because you cannot say that most people are going into these marriages because they are very desperate. They are not ready for it, but they are desperate. The moment you land into something like a marriage because you are desperate, be sure that something very awkward will happen. So for me, I cannot blame the pandemic. Of course, it has played a very partial part about it, but it is not fully the one that has led to this. But at the moment, or meanwhile, I can say people go into marriages in terms like when they are very desperate. But if you plan for something, yes, every time you go for wedding ceremonies, you usually say in bad and good times. So what does bad and good times mean? So what I can say here is that as much as you are planning to do something like marriage, get ready because it will catch up with you when something like corona will come in some other years because you'll start saying that it is the cause of your death or what. But as much as you've planned for your marriage, I think we always say till death do us part. So what I can say here is that this is just like a perception that people are just trying to develop because they're saying, oh, this pandemic is trying to lead to deaths of people or people are losing jobs, they are very stressed or what. But I can say this is just lack of preparedness while trying to plan for something like marriage because a very genuine marriage cannot cannot be cannot go that way just because of a pandemic because you give yourself a very solid promise when you are trying to come together. So a very mere pandemic like coronavirus is not something that can lead to that step in life.
Yes, yes. So Ian, I'm so happy that you are very informed, and this is the importance of education anyway. But then you've mentioned something that people get married because they are desperate, or people get married because their parents have told them, you are getting old. So I guess
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
people are getting married for the wrong reasons,
yeah,
and
yeah,
this
yeah.
is why people are killing each other and all that. And this is not something good. We hope that they will really understand the meaning of love and they will really understand the meaning of marriage. And if mentioned, we usually say, in good times and in bad times. I'm so happy that
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
able to mention that. So we were talking about pursuing, and we've really involved a lot of things. And I'm so happy that
yeah,
we were able to involve those things because I felt like they are important to be talked about. And it is something that we can always talk about. And I'm so happy that you are able to join us on this very live stream. And I just want to tell my audience, in case you are joining us at this moment, we are just finishing. But again, you can leave us a comment and tell us, I'm watching on a replay. But Ian, I have a last question for you. You have a
yeah.
big dream of becoming a politician, but I don't know, when are you wanting to awaken this? Because many people don't know if you want to do this. So when are you planning to awake this very dream?
Yeah, as much as I'm just getting done with my studies, I would like to study as immediate as possible. But I think I will take some time, like 3 years to 4 years. But as
Yes.
soon as I'm ready, I'll be coming to my people. I'll be talking to my people about it, and I'm very sure that much of my people will support me, irrespective of negativities that always exist. This is a very dirty game. This is a very nasty game, and I really understand. But I'm sure that most people will endorse me for this, and I'm not going to get back anymore.
Yeah, so we are expecting that, and we really hope that people will come out and support you. Ero Productions is always there to support you. And my friend, we, as Ero Productions, we hope that you are going to make these dreams come to pass. So, Ian, what is your closing remarks for the audience?
My closing remarks for audience who've been live. I really appreciate for you taking your time. At least we've shared a lot. I think what we've shared is in your memories. You should not just let go. Use it. Take it as a very positive impact rather than negative. I think we've talked about marriage. We've talked about the effect of the pandemic. We've talked about real life. We've talked about academics. So all these are scenarios that exist in real life. So take it and use it, and your life is gonna take a very positive turn.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ian, for joining us on this live stream. We really appreciate your presence, and whatever you've spoken is very, very important to everybody, and especially the youth. So we are so grateful. We would like just to say, as Ero Productions, we are grateful to have you on Ero Talks Show, episode number 4. We hope that we are going to share this to other people so that they can be accessible to this, and we hope that we shall reach out to many people. So, Ian, thank you so much. I would like to just put you off and just tell people a conclusion, and then I'll get back to you, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, guys, we are through with Ero Productions, talk episode number 4. It has been a good live stream, and I'm so happy that you are able to join us. My friend, if you are watching us live, thank you so very much. And if you're watching a replay, I am so happy that you have just joined us, and you're watching together with us. We've been talking about pursuing what is important in your life. We've been talking matters to do with relationships. We've been talking matters to do with youth and the job. We've been talking about a lot of stuff, even academics. And I hope that this has been very helpful to you. And if that is the case, feel very, very free to go to that like button and also to subscribe. And my friend, not only subscribe, but ring that bell so that you do not miss any other future tips, tricks, or tutorials, and also future live streams and exclusive interviews on Ero Talks Show. And my friend, you can share this to your friends. Use hashtag Ero Talks Show so that we know, I can see what you are talking about, and we can also feel good that we are reaching out to many more people. So feel very, very free to share this video and other videos. And I've said, if you did not watch our first and second and third episode on Ero Talks, feel very, very free to find a link in the description so that you can go and watch these very, very talks. And I hope that this has been very helpful to you. I hope I will see you in my next live stream or interview. Peace. We are done with the live stream. Let me end this. Just